to say, I'm always backing the new managers, but I can't fathom why he's picked teams or started matches like he's done.
Yeah, where does this win come from though? What? I'm actually
Well,
very confused of how West Ham are going to turn this around now because it's looking diabolical for them. Your next
it's
game's
dire.
Newcastle, and
Exactly.
there's nothing that convinced me right now that you're going to go out and win that game at home because I know some West Ham fans will start losing their head over this, but you aren't that club to be that tourist club. I'm sorry, but it's because you're not one of the big six or da da da. Yeah.
um,
And this could be the year, couldn't it? It just could be the year.
it could be the year.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching around the world. This is a One Way Football's one-on-one fan talk, and joined here today with the one and only regular on the show, Izzy Rascal, big West Ham fan. I don't know if he's that much of a West Ham fan at the moment, but we'll get into that in a minute, because it is looking still diabolical at West Ham right now. Just before we start, though, how have you been, mate? In yourself,
Yeah,
take away football. How have you been, mate?
yeah. I mean, it's difficult to say when football is. You're a big Arsenal fan. I'm a big West Ham fan. It can dictate your life a little bit and affect you. But I mean, it can't get any worse than what it is now. I mean, back in the day, if you told me West Ham would be on telly on a Friday and a Monday, I'd be ecstatic. But watching those matches, yeah, quickly wasn't ecstatic that they were on twice in a week. It was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. But I'm all right. I'm bearing up.
Yeah, mate. I mean, like it just watching it, and you just think Nuno's going to turn a corner for you. Yeah, you come in, and it's loss after a loss, isn't it? I can't
I,
understand what's going on. Like,
I think
what
you
needs
know
to change?
it's always difficult when a new manager comes in and stuff. But I think what has bewildered me is just how bad his lineups have been. Like he's playing without a striker. He's playing defenders on the wrong side. He's playing Suchek in the middle with Irvin, probably one of the slowest defensive midfield pairings you could get. And you're losing already, like James. When you see the lineup, it's so defeatist to see players like that, like in the team. No disrespect to like Suchek, he's been a great servant for us, but I mean, it beggars belief. It's like you're losing before you've even started to compete. So for me, his lineups are the big question, and I don't get where the thinking is at with it. And obviously, in the last game, we brought on Potts and we changed it around a bit, Fernandez, and I think I can't imagine him going with a different team when we play next. He's got to go with Potts in the middle and Fernandez at least some mobility in there because we're one of the slowest teams in the league, if not the slowest team in the league. So we need
Hmm.
some actual pace somewhere in there. I don't know, mate. As I say, I'm always backing the new managers, but I can't fathom why he's picked teams or started matches like he's done.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one to be fair. I mean, West Ham have played 810 minutes, right, of the Premier League football this season so far, and have only spent just over 25 of those minutes in winning positions. That's like 3.1% to those that are
It's
counting. Like, it's absolutely mental. So to say that West Ham are probably hanging on till January now, as Nuno is like he struggles to revitalize like the disappointments of the squad in by January, you might be looking for a new manager again.
well, the thing is, we can't be getting rid of managers until something fits because the realization is Nuno's working with atrocious players, so you got to give him a little bit for that. But also, like I say, I mean, for me, you got to start with the best team, best players. He hasn't done that for whatever reason. I could forgive him the first game. Maybe he wants to see people, see how they compare with each other. But to do it twice, I can't fathom it. In any case, I am one for sticking with the manager. I think we've had 4 managers in about 18 months, which is ridiculous. I think West Ham are one of the teams. We're probably catching up other teams now, but we never hardly change managers. I think over the years, prior to this Premier League era in like the 20s slash 10s, if you like, we hardly got rid of managers. We kept with managers, and it's just in the Premier League era, because that's the nature of it. If you're losing, you get rid of the manager. But I have faith in Nuno to turn it around. But we could be down by January. We can't wait till January. He needs to come up with an answer now, whatever that answer is. And again, I say Potts looks at least someone, and it's not only that, James. It's just the actual intensity of the players. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any fight. I'm not seeing any desire. We spoke about Paqueta before, and I said I'm not so sure about him. And again, I've been proved right, because he's got the caliber to be a great player. I think he's our most expensive signing. He's not given us anything, in my opinion. Really disappointing. We need a player like him to step up. And once again, Bowen's the one that's he can't do it on his own, but he's the one who's at least consistently trying to do something. And it looks bad, but Nuno's got to find the answer with the players he's got and keep us within that 17th, 18th spot. Because if we keep losing till January, we're gone. We're done.
So I'm just having a look now. So your first game was against Sunderland, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
Of the
right. Yeah,
season. So you lost that. Chelsea absolutely steamed past you. Um, you you lost against Tottenham. You lost against Crystal Palace. You got a draw against Everton. You lost against us. You lost against Brentford, and you lost against Leeds. The only team that
it
you
was
picked up
Forest.
points on was against Forest when Nuno was in charge.
I know
That's mind-boggling.
it is laughable. And
So
also, when I looked at
the only time you've actually picked up points is against actually your manager that you have now, who lost against you.
it is, I mean, you've got to laugh, because if you don't, you're literally going to get absolute major depression. But yeah, that stat came up before. And again, I still think what we said the last time we spoke, Forest had Postecoglou, right? Got rid of him, rapid. And now they've got Dyche. So at the time I said, I'm glad that we've got Nuno out of the two, or out of any. I think Nuno is a good manager, but it's little things like that, like omens, where you're just thinking, hang on a minute. Like we've, like you said, the team we beat, we've now got the manager of them. But he's working with terrible players. Like we've got, everywhere you look, we're struggling. We've got like 4 free players who maybe are like what I would consider get me kind of excited, in terms of Wan-Bissaka, who hasn't played, he's been injured, or he's been Walker Peters has been playing, and Bowen. I think Wilson even looks like he's up for a fight, in terms of at least he's running around, at least he's moving, he's showing for the ball, he ain't hiding. And with those 3 kind of players, you need that in the whole 11, and it just ain't there, mate. It just ain't there. It's got to be one of the worst teams I've witnessed.
Where does this win come from though? What? I'm actually
Well,
very confused of how West Ham are going to turn this around now, because it's looking diabolical for them. Your
it's
next game's
dire.
Newcastle, and
Exactly.
there's nothing that convinced me right now that you're going to go out and win that game at home.
Well, this is another factor, because home now has become even more of a challenge, whereas other teams have the home advantage. You could argue that, well, we don't. Obviously, we had the boycott at the stadium last time. I don't know what the plans are for this time, but I just think that it's not a benefit for us anymore playing at home either. So we're fighting on 2 fronts. And yeah, you say, every team in the league, as I said before, is good. Newcastle, Bournemouth, whoever you're playing, it's going to be a challenge. And if you don't have the right mentality, in terms of you're going to battle and you're going to fight and you're going to scrap, then you are not going to roll over these teams. You're going to just get battered yourself. And I worry against Newcastle. I think we've got another top 4 team again afterwards. I can't remember who it is.
I mean,
But
so you've got Newcastle. Straight after that, then you've got Burnley, which
oh well.
okay, you're expecting. It's a hard one to
But
call, isn't it? You know,
I'm not expecting anything against Burnley, but we've got to. We said that these 2 games against Brentford and Leeds would be, we need the 6 points from them, and we got 0. And again, we're looking at Newcastle, which you'd say, they're a great team. Are we going to get anywhere near them? Don't know. And Burnley is another game we've got to win. And
Are you starting to fear a little bit now about the? Are you? Because I think a lot of like West Ham fans that I've heard of that are like been on talk shows and stuff like that are coming to like the realization that is we've got to be prepared now for us to go down.
I think so because I've always been a bit of a realist, and you're looking at that team and then performances. You kind of like, I just can't understand how we've got so bad. We won the trophy some years ago. It's been a decline since Moyes left, and a lot of people will say about Moyes and that. But like I've said before, it's there's nothing wrong with fans wanting to try and kind of look for forward-thinking football. Now it didn't work out. We got Lopetegui, and then we've got Potter, and it just hasn't worked out. But it doesn't mean the fans shouldn't want for a better style of football. And Moyes was on the decline in the league anyway. But it is since then really where we've just plummeted. The squad investment has been dire, and I do put some blame on Moyes for that because, as I said, he liked to work with a small squad. And then when he left, we don't have the money to then buy and refill the slots that were kind of available. We let Benrahma go for nothing, whether you liked him or not. Fornal similar. And it left us bare. We've got rid of Antonio. We've got rid of Soufal. We've got rid of Fabianski. Not only that, they're characters in the dressing room, I would like to think. So once you get rid of that, and then you've got these players who just don't care. They'll be off, come relegation. They'll find another club. Potter found another club, didn't he? And we're the fans that have to be left with, obviously we always support the club, but we're the fans that have to be left with, these poor decisions from the upper hierarchy and also the managers prior. But it
Yeah,
is
I mean,
worrying.
yeah, I mean, from a perspective, from a West Ham fan, it must be. Even from an outside point of view, I think, fans probably looking at West Ham going, I'm worried for West Ham because it seems like there's no point of return now. And do you know what? On Talksport, when I was listening the other day, a West Ham fan went on there and said, "What needs to happen is there needs to be a new ownership. There needs to be someone come in, buy the club, build a new stadium." I'm like, you're talking complete nonsense right now. Like, no, you can't just say, "Oh, this is what we need. This is what's going to happen. This is what we need to happen." It ain't like that. No one who in their right mind at the moment is going to look at West Ham and go, "Yeah, that's got potential right there."
Yeah, I did see that on Talksport. I think, in fairness to, I can't remember who was speaking on that, but yeah, I think the way they kind of maybe interpreted the words was a bit pie in the sky. But what was meant by that was just the fact that, well, we've got to have hope. As football fans, you have hope. Otherwise, what's the point? Now,
The
it is
problem is that
foolish to.
there's overthinking in there about these situations. It's like, you know, when the back like when City got taken over by the Arabs and they were winning everything, then you kind of like everyone was like, oh, I wish our club could spend that much money and stuff like that, and wish our club got taken over. But hindsight of it is that I don't think there's anyone out there that actually looks at West Ham, not in a bad point of way, like view, and goes, "Oh, that is the club that I want to take to the next level." I just don't see it because the revenue that West Ham bring to the club, and this isn't a bad thing against West Ham fans because I know some West Ham fans will start losing their head over this, but you aren't that club to be like tourist club. I'm sorry, but it's because you're not one of the big six or da da da. Um,
But this is what is frustrating because I kind of get what you're saying, but I would argue, and not being biased, West Ham are an attractive proposition. Now, the fact we don't own the stadium is not an
are they?
attractive proposition.
Like right now, if I was a multi-billionaire, trillionaire, whatever, I'd be looking at West Ham. If I had the choice to buy any club, I don't think I would be looking at West Ham as a potential
I think,
investor.
yeah, and I can kind of see why. As I was going to say, we haven't got a stadium. The fans are in disarray, whatever. But like it or not, we are one of the top 20 odd teams in the world in terms of, I think it's in terms of financial position.
Mm.
Um, Also, West Ham's steeped in history as well. Like, I get the London rivalry and stuff like that, but West Ham are a good club if you have an abundance of money and you want to actually do things that will, get them to that level. If you just want to take over a club like Sullivan did and then earn money off of it, then that's what they did. Got rid of the stadium, which we had, and they've got a stadium for free, if you like. Now, yeah,
But
when
they
when
don't
someone wants to,
potentially even own the stadium, do they? So it's
well, this
it's
is where we're kind of locked because we can't do anything to kind of improve the situation there. We can't do anything to move from there. The guy who said, "Oh, get an investor to come in and buy a stadium," yeah, the statement I get is ridiculous. But as a fan, you got to have some hope. And the second thing is, yeah, you wouldn't expect someone to come in, buy the club, and just build a stadium or whatever. But surely they can look at the contracts that we're tied in with the Olympic Stadium and
mm.
either buy that or either try and change that. I don't know what it is. I don't know the full contract obligations of the stadium, but
I mean, to
I
find
do.
a potential buyer anyway, I think it'd be too late now. I think right now in the position that West Ham are in, you're looking like you are going down. We're only in October. Anything can happen. I get that. But if you don't start picking up points now, like we say with Newcastle, Burnley, you creep into that December time where we kind of judge where teams are going to like be by January. You've got a hard December time coming up. So from the end of like November, you play Liverpool. Moving into December, you've got United, you've got Brighton, Villa, and then Man City. At that point, then coming to the end of December, you just got. I think you kind of like you have to really worry then if you don't start picking up points by that time.
And we've had these sort of relegation battles before the season with Tevez, and we stayed up. We've also had it when we bought John Hartson and Paul Kitson, and they kept us up that season. Now, we shouldn't be dealing with things like this, the club that we are, but the ownership have put us in this position. And once again, but there isn't a John Hartson and a Paul Kitson that is available. I mean, where can you get two strikers from nowadays, or a Tevez? You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it'll come to January, and what gets told to us all the time is, "Oh, we're trying to get so and so, and we're trying to get so and so," and then time elapses, and then we're
Yeah,
left with free transfers and players who ain't up to the task to get us out of the position. So I'm very worried about it, and I
because
just want
December time
someone.
moves quickly as well. So it's not even just like
Yeah,
you've got a whole week to rest up. It's literally you got game after game. Like so they crumb it in. So you do Saturday and then you're playing next Tuesday and then you play next Saturday and then you know what I mean it's a tough time to
it's
play.
full on. The,
Yeah. So
the calendar's full on, and you're going to pick up the injuries. And like I say, you've got to we've got to get that depth and a little bit more quality in certain areas. Can you imagine if Bowen got injured? Like how catastrophic would that be for us without
yeah.
him? And and like I said, he can't do it on his own, and he's doing the best he can. But he's someone at least who is trying and is progressing, forward thinking with a ball, and it just doesn't bear thinking about. But yeah, it's going to be tough. And as I said, I'm a realist. It's looking very grim. I still have a smidgen of hope and faith that we can conjure something. I mean, in the essence, Nuno's had two games, hasn't he? Or I think it is. He's got to just pick the right team. And if we lose, at least we can't, because the focus is on Nuno as well now,
I mean, look at
James, rather
Dyche.
than
Dyche
the
coming into
team.
Forest. I mean, he got a good win in Europe, and then he goes and he goes and loses his first Premier League game. This is where some people like don't understand is the Premier League is a hard game to a
Oh,
hard league to manage. Especially
mm.
when you've just come back into like managerial job, like or you've just come into a new team. It's hard to gel a team together that's already been disponed or dispatched as like a bit of a hopeless team. You know what I mean?
And
Um, uh,
someone made a good point about Dice, saying that he hasn't really had that caliber of player to work with like he's got at Forest. He's got some quite good players there, and it'll be
yeah,
interesting to see like how he does with them.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I just can't. I don't see where they're going to turn it around. I really don't. It's from the games that we've seen so far. It just doesn't seem like there's any fight in the players either. So it's all right. It's like saying like always going on the manager of what's he doing, how's he doing this, but sometimes it's towards the players as well. They just that game against Leeds was probably one of the most boring games. And can I just say as well, watching it on TV. No one's going to them games now. Like the stadium was empty.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's like it's expensive to travel to these away games. If you're referring to I mean, the away support's always pretty good, but obviously we're in the situation of the
I get it,
petition
it's a
and the
Monday night.
boycott.
It was a Monday night game as well, but at the
Yeah,
same
but
time, just
like I
awful. I'm
said,
sorry,
like,
it was a Friday night game. Sorry, Friday. So there's no excuse there either, like for kids or like families to go. But
but
if
I
you look
mean,
back on that game, there was just no one in the stands. It was, and the atmosphere was rubbish. No one was getting behind the team. It's like the whole concept of West Ham is just flop now.
I think from a West Ham perspective, like the away support's always great, but the team have got to give them something to cheer about. And what did they give us? I mean, Bowen had a kind of overhead kick at one point. I can't remember much else in the game. It was, and then when Potts and Fernandez come on, too little, too late. You can test for 90 minutes, not for 10 minutes or whatever it was. So Nuno has got to do right by the selection for me next game, and at least then we can say, oh well, yeah, again, the team weren't good enough, rather than now thinking about is the manager good enough.
Yeah. It's just a hard one. It's a hard one to even pick out, divulge. Where it's going to come from, how you're going to do. I just there just no seems to be no fight with the team. It feels
The
really
central,
very flat, and it's like they've kind of already just given up, haven't they? Like, we're in October.
I think as well, the defense is just so bad. Like, it just annoys me. When you watch West Ham teams of the past, you would just even like I've said Dawson before, someone who we like. Oh, we bought Craig Dawson, but give him his credit. He put a shift in every time he put the shirt on, and you just don't get that with any of these players. Tadibo and Kilman, honestly, must be one of the worst centre back buyers for 40 million. It's criminal. He's terrible. Tadibo as well. I think Mavropanos is now out injured. So right in the middle of the pitch, we're in trouble, and we
Yeah,
can't wait till January to fix it. He's got to come up with. I mean, I don't know if Fernandez can play in defence, but he's got to just try something a little different, but not too different. We should have Wilson at top. It's very simple. Wilson at top, Paqueta, Bowen, Somerville, Fernandez, Potts, and then fucking. I mean, I'll play defence, although we'll get battered
yeah,
even more. To be fair, it's just so
yeah.
frustrating, James. You look through that
Yeah.
squad and there's nothing there.
What would you? So what actually? I mean, even if you get to January time and you can kind of see, would they need to dig into their pockets, don't they? If you're in this position by January, with any chance to turn this around, you probably need to, like, the owners need to like dig in their pockets a little bit, trying to suss out where they can change this and swap this around, and buy in some kind of talent, that's you can kind of
I,
try to convince some talent to come in and go, right, this is our mission. We need to stay up. This is what your job's going to be. But it's who do you attract then? Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing as well, James. Like for that period, you may be looking at a loan buyer, but who? I mean, when we got Lingard, it was great, but we were like obviously higher up in the league. But to get a loanee in for a battle for 6 months, I mean, you got to have that mentality. How are you going to find that character? It just because we ain't going to spend big if we're going to go get relegated. So it'll be conservative type purchases, I think, for the manager that will do a job, and hopefully we get out of it because no one's going to want to play in, or have the chance to play in the next division if we're in a really bad position. And I think we're already 4 points off now, so we
Mm,
need 2 wins really. And like you said,
yeah,
Newcastle, uh, it's so frustrating. It's got to be one of the worst teams I've had the misfortune of seeing. That
yeah,
collection
of
of
course,
players, barring a
yeah, of
couple.
course. Yeah. I'm very lost for words of it all. From the players to the manager to the fans to the ownership. There's just too much going on, I think, at West Ham. And like we've said before, that the past couple of seasons that you've been fighting relegation, and staying up, it probably has come to the time where it's going to be like, and players are going to look at themselves and go, right, well, is Bowen even going to stay? Is he going to look at it and go,
Well, I don't think anyone would question him going if we were in whatever position, even if we stayed up. I don't think because now it's a bit different because he's met his wife and there's all West Ham kind of entanglements there. But I think
but
that
this doesn't mean anything
not
because I mean we know with
yeah.
Declan Rice he was West Ham and still is West Ham, in his heart. Um, But once you get the big boys come up, throwing money about, um,
I think, yeah, no one would begrudge him going, especially if he puts in the shift like he has been doing, because
yeah,
we haven't. But he signed a 7 odd year contract, if memory serves me correctly. So,
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't want to keep him prisoner at the club. It's fine to go, but if we stay up or go down, he probably will. He probably
yeah,
will
of course,
go.
of course. Yeah. So I mean, what would you do to turn this around, Izzy? Well, what would be the main thing that you think that you need to do now? I mean, I feel like we're it's a bit like a bit of a groundhog day every time that we meet at the moment. You know
It is.
what
I've
he
never been
said.
so depressed. It's
We've
great
been
to be
through
on
the
the
whole.
show, but
Yeah, we've been through the whole book of what you can do like to turn it around. But is there any more that you can say to turn this around? What is it? I
well, we
think we've
got the
been through
new
every single bit of turnaround.
we got the new manager, and like I said, selection is key with what he's got, and he's got to make. He's got to not stop putting. He's got to stop putting square pegs in round holes. He's got to just put the players in the positions they play in and
Yeah,
take it from there. But that's all he can do at the moment, and try and invigorate them and galvanise them and kick them up the arse.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah. 2 seconds. So yeah, sorry about that. I had to turn on the power and that because that would have been a cut off point, which probably wouldn't be that bad to be fair in your case. Like, what else are
Uh,
we going to talk about with West Ham? Like
the
it's
good the good thing is it can only get better. Surely it can only get better.
I know
Um,
I had to sort out my cooking pot as well because that was over bubbling. It was blowing bubbles as we speak about West Ham.
that cooking pot is more happy than I am. Then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we got
It's having a bubble
we
over there. Like, let me tell you that now. Yeah. So it's like I say, we keep throwing the book at it, don't we? Every couple of weeks that we have this conversation, and it just, when's it going to stop? I just can't see where the next win's going to come from. Newcastle's a tough game. Burnley at home. I would expect you
that's
to
still a
probably
tough
turn that
game.
around a little bit at home with Burnley. Um, Burnley's
A
form
must
isn't
win.
that great. I know that they beat Wolves 3-2, but they're conceding goals. They won against Leeds 2-0. They lost against Villa, lost against City. So they're in the same kind of predicament as you anyway. And we kind of all thought that anyway. Some of the
Yeah,
teams that we thought that were going to go straight back down, like Sunderland and that, doing well. Leeds are doing
very
well to
well.
keep their own. But West Ham, I just never thought it. I never thought that they were going to be in this situation. I thought maybe that they're always that team that stays in kind of the mid-table. They get dropped down to about 17th, but he managed to stay up. But he's looking absolutely dire. I mean, he got 4 points on the board.
Yeah, the
It's
one
just
Nottingham Forest
crazy,
win.
isn't it?
Um,
And this could be the year, couldn't it? It just could be the year.
it could be the year. I mean, I do remember us in the Championship and getting promoted, but you just don't want. I know some fans have said that rebuild and all that. I don't want us to get relegated full stop, but I, I don't know, mate. I just feel that it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. And that January, we need to stay in that position. We need to stay within a position where we can actually get out of it. Because if we're like where we are and the gap is bigger than 4 points and it's like 9 or something, it's just a mountain to climb for us, whoever we buy. And that's even
Mm.
if we do buy anyone, probably get a loanee, just looking for a payday, and then he's off to somewhere else, It's always the fans have to suffer.
Yeah, yeah, this is right. This is right. Well, look, mate, I'm gonna wrap it up there because if we talk any more about this, you're probably going to bed like depressed, mate.
Mate, I already have. Until we get a win, it's just it's doom and gloom. It really is doom and
Yeah, I
gloom.
mean, I remember you telling me as well at the beginning of the season that you've actually like started to get back into football. It's an
That's
enjoyment to
it.
watch, and then this all just happens, and you must be scratching your head, just going, "Oh my God, what?"
Got to be one of the worst seasons of football as a fan that I've had to endure, just because there's nothing to cheer about. Like you said, 4 points, 25 minutes we were ahead for. Did you say?
Yeah,
It's a nightmare. It's a
Yeah,
nightmare. And when you said, like I said, when I was young, if you'd have told me West Ham are on the telly on a Friday and they're on the telly on a Monday, I would have been ecstatic. And now I'm
mm,
like threatened to watch like whatever we're going to get beat by.
yeah. I can understand that. Let's just quickly say then. I mean, let's put your your heart in your head, right, and your head in your heart. Your next three games coming up. Let's do a little prediction here. West Ham versus
Right.
United. You're at home. Back off of three losses in a row. What are you thinking?
I do think we're going to lose 2-1 to Newcastle. You said right, 2-1, a loss at
2-1.
home.
All right,
Yeah,
okay. Understandable. It's Newcastle are okay. I mean, they're not the best at the moment. Um, so I'm just getting it up now. I mean, Newcastle's form. I mean, yeah, they beat Fulham, beat Benfica, they lost to Brighton, and they beat Thingy. So right, okay, they can still be like got at, but you're saying it's still
yeah.
going to be a loss.
I think it'd
Um,
just be tough being at home with all
yeah,
what's going on. I think 2-1 loss. Yeah.
West Ham versus Burnley,
Yeah, and this is where my heart's going to rule my head because we've got to win that game. So 2-0. But I
two
don't
nil
know if I
West Ham.
believe that, James. But I've got to say 2-0 win, yeah. Because if we lose
Yeah,
that, then it is looking ridiculously bad.
and then just before we get into December, we'll go to the last two before December. Bournemouth.
They're so, they're so good. I will again say a draw, one
You're
all.
away as well. So I don't know what it
Yeah,
is
I
with
think
your current form at the moment away. Are you better away than you are home? I'm not sure. I'm not well. And to be fair,
we're equal,
you've
equally
only won
bad.
one game, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
even know
equally
why I'm
bad.
asking that, mate. I don't
Yeah,
even know
we're
why I'm
equally
asking that.
bad. But I would say
Um,
that away might be a little bit better because there's less pressure. Whoever's in the stadium, if you're playing at a half-empty stadium or if you're playing to the stadium, who's like G and Yard, at least with the away crowd, I think they're a bit more maybe supportive at the moment. So yeah, I'd say a draw with Bournemouth, 1-1.
yeah, okay. And the big one before December hits, for our Christmas period, um, West Ham versus Liverpool.
I
I mean,
mean, I
but
wish.
Liverpool, we don't know by now. I mean, them games coming up, the three games before that, West Ham might have a bad run as well. We don't know. They're on bad form at the moment.
I
Okay, they
think if
might
we
not
were
be in on
playing them
par as
now,
what West Ham are, but
oh yeah, they're in a bad form considering they're title challengers. But I think I think it's a win for them. It'll be a 3-0 win for them.
yeah. Well, Izzy, I hope that you start having a bit of a smile on your face in the next couple and coming weeks when
Yeah,
maybe we
well,
get you
it's
back on.
when West Ham don't play, I tend to have a smile on my face, James.
Yeah, like, yeah. But yeah, no, up in the upcoming weeks, maybe we'll get you back on, and you'll have a different
Yeah,
aspect to the run of games that have just gone. Hopefully, the man with his fingers crossed there.
just a
But
win,
look,
just a
listen, you can
couple of
only
wins.
hope. You can only hope. If not, then it's looking a bit sour, isn't it, going into the Christmas
Oh,
period? But look,
yeah.
Izzy, it's lovely to have you on once again. We'll get you back on in the next couple of weeks to see how you're
Cheers,
getting on.
mate. Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you haven't already. Join us on our massive journey way to the top. And also, don't forget to check out Izzy's links in the bio to his TikTok account. He goes live every now and then. He does a lot of fun on there with some bingo quizzes and that music quizzes and general talk about all kinds of stuff that's probably not football related. That's his
Yeah.
breakaway from football.
At the moment, yeah. This is exactly right. Keeping
Yeah,
that separate from football.
so yeah, like the video, and also hit that bell for more notifications on new content coming out. And we shall catch you very, very soon. Thank you very much, Izzy. Thank you for coming on, and we shall see you very, very
Cheers, mate, for having
shortly.
me.
Okay, and let's
Take care.
let's just have a quick moment, quick couple of seconds to play this. You probably don't want to hear it, mate, because it's blowing bubbles. But
Oh, was it? I couldn't hear anything. I'm glad I couldn't hear it. I wish I was actually cooking properly.
I'll catch you in a bit, mate. Take care, mate.
All the best, mate. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.